Philly, we do it like you're Volothamp Modulus Tautology coming to you live. At least I hope I'm live. You know what I mean? Today is Malcolm X's birthday. Today is Malcolm X's birthday. Hence, the title of today's track, or I like to call these things programs, Malcolm, Lord King X. Malcolm, Lord King X. Malcolm, Lord King X. This is Hip Hop Appreciation Week. And I wanted to do something again this year. But last year I tried to, set it up for this year, but Follow going through a lot, and still trying to change the game, but the game ain't changed, right? The game ain't changed. We're still in the midst of what they want to deny as a psychological warfare called racism in the form called white supremacy, right? We teach that it's a philosophical warfare, but we don't know the book that they're using. See, I'm an arcanist. I would like to believe that I'm a scholar more so than a what is it? The Sumner. Yeah. Sumners ain't no joke, yo. Cause I'm down with just using carbuncle. Just keeping it 100. I don't need that infrared, but carbuncle could, be morphed into such a fiery beast, you know what I'm saying? If we really did the alchemy right, But we'll get more into, hopefully one day I get back to Final Fantasy 14, because that's what I want my end game to be. Playing a little bit of Final Fantasy 14 while I make some videos and talk about this thing called life. All I can do right now, and I can't see too visually good, so I'll play a little bit of Animal Crossing. And right now, the turnips are $188 on my island. I think I paid $107, so that's an $81, per turnip. I only bought like 8,000 turnips. I think about it. But that's more than enough to make up for what I lost last week. Last week, Bolo took a major loss. Not a major loss, but because I'm trying to get to 1 billion, and then I'm retiring. You know what I mean? I might just become a home designer and work as a home designer after that. At that point, But it is what it is, right? But first, I got to get my eyesight back. So Volo's still trying to schedule his eye appointment for next week, and enjoy these days. I'm not going to go into debt on, like, everybody's talking about Malcolm and Martin and the '60s right now, because the day is his birthday. That's why Banner came out talking about Martin Luther King, actually, because what we tend to do is we get caught up in the same political ignorance that they programmed on us, that we have to be either Democrat or Republican. You see, back in 1989, 18 years after hip hop began, you know what I mean? And that's when I first registered to vote, and I've registered independent. And I've been independent ever since. So even though today is a primary of election day in Pennsylvania, I'm voting on me. I don't need to go to the polls, right? Because I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican, right? So I vote for me. And when the general election comes in, November, I might just do the same thing. Go in there, say hello to the people, get some free water, and write my name bolo thing, modulus tautology, all up and down the sheet and turn it in. All right. Now, yes, I'm going to be very, 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 come 2028, I'm going to be very, what's the word I like to say? I'm trying to think, because it's the same reason why I even say that I voted for Obama, to be out of spite. Yeah, I voted for Obama out of spite. So yes, I voted for Jill Stein in 2016 out of spite. Right? I'm not voting for Trump or Hillary. Anyway, GTOF with that BS, right? But once Trump won, I'm like, I was all I was doing was taking out the trash and getting cussed out by gay dudes. And when Obama was the president, when George Bush was the president, like, gay dudes was cussing me out. Women, I was working under women, and they was just treating me like shit, and just trying to fire me every chance they get. And I was like, nah, this shit is corny as shit, yo. So I was trying to start my own business for the longest time. So it wasn't until Trump came and I found myself, next thing you know, I'm the store manager again. All right, cool. So Trump must have been doing something. His policies must have rewarded the 15 plus years of pharmacy retail that I've been putting in. You know what I mean? Really, actually, it was more than that. Actually, it's 20. Well, yeah, pharmacy retail. I don't got to count. What is that? 30 years, 35. 30 years of basically. So I thought I was going to finally get rewarded, right? And being the manager, and Biden came in, and you know what I mean, the day after I put up a sign saying DEI and we hiring, I was the first DEI fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being a black man, and like, nah, dude. Muhammad is the president now, so ain't no hate on Muhammad. He was a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was an older cat. He good dude. I still got him on my I still got his number. You know what I mean? I'll text him once in a blue moon, but I've been I've been shut down, right? Because now I'm fighting another Muhammad. Like, that's the funny shit about it. And then at the same time, I got Jesus with tattoos all over his neck, and you know what I mean, talking about some love Jesus, and it's like, dude, okay, we're being a little bit hypocritical, you know what I mean? How many baby mamas do you got, dude? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm the one that's full of hate. I'm the one that's full of fear and sin, and it's like, nah, I am not afraid. Today, I give myself permission to be all that I can be. New fields of divine activity now open for me. You see, unexpected doors fly open. Unexpected channels are now free. My mind is focused and directed towards my victory. I now create what I need using divine energy. You see, good things come to me easily in peace and at the right time. There it is. And that goes to shout out to Mother Parker. KRS-One's mother, she wrote that affirmation for him, or she gave him that affirmation when he was a young lad, and he shared it with the world in the gospel of hip-hop. So shout out to him. I call him the teacher. He is the first one that said, no, you're not. I'm no longer your teacher. You're your own teacher now. Like, I was like, oh, all right, cool. So he's actually one of the, Deb France did that to me too. That's my college professor, Dr. Deb France. Shout out to her. She's the one that taught me the pure mathematics and being an abstract thought, and being able to take that as a macro epistemology and transform it into the micro. You know what I'm saying? And then I got to understand the analytical geometry in a sacred format. Now they not understanding how the function works. You know what I mean? They confuse between that and the mapping and the relations, and want to step to me like I'm spitting colloquial rhetoric when I design the axioms, the definitions, and the theorems using tautological precision, right? Not contradicting. In so many words, understanding, understanding, understanding that which is possibly indeterminate. But God is perfect. And that's what I came to bring to you today. God is perfect. That's why Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and Fred Hampton, perfect. Perfection. Right? What the devil did was plot much smarter. Right? You kill a Negro today, he lives forever. So I plotted much smarter. There'll be no more martyrs. Money over bullshit. That's the mob way. Shout out to Nas. Is Nas the GOAT? He's up there. I give him credit for it. You know what I mean? But Nas ain't that real. He gangster. He gangster. I don't call it gangster rap. I call it the conscious awareness of the blues in lyrical format from the culture that's been oppressed since, or actually before, Sojourner Truth. Who are we doing next? Sojourner Truth. Nat Turner. Can't forget Nat Turner. Like Nat Turner wasn't a martyr. Nah, Nat Turner, it was perfect, yo. We don't know what he did. He might have just been running north. You know what I'm saying? But they want to make it seem like he performed a massacre. He just was disobedient to, quote unquote, the white, quote unquote, master. Right? And then we also got Harriet Tubman and not Booker T. Washington, but Booker T. Washington. We're going to get to him soon. Frederick Douglass. We will get more into the history and looking at our dates and understanding that. But that's the beginning of foundation of Black Americans. That's what we're trying to say. And to be still going, they were Democrats, and they were the beginning of the opposition to what happened to the Grand Old Party once they shot Abraham Lincoln in the back of the head. You know what I mean? So once again, we find ourselves looking at the perfection that God is creating, right? Because God is perfect. Now we got to learn those lessons, and we share those lessons with the seeds so that they know it's more about being civil, and then peace. It's about understanding the moral ethics, the virtues and principles of love God. Make sure y'all respect that, Lord. Seek that wisdom. Honor your mother and father. The Sabbath, that's Saturday. We're going to do that on Saturday. But I'm chilling, man. I had great making this little quick prelude to what's going to come. You know what I mean? I can do my whole. Am I going to do my whole half hour? I don't think so. How much time did I put in so far? I don't know. I don't even have the music up high enough. I ain't even talked to Lexi today. So, $14 minutes of funk. 5 minutes of funk, right? flip up the music a little bit. You know what I mean? Once I lay my patterns, and I do want to get a push, not a push. I forget the name of that machine. Hip Hop Appreciation Week. There it is. Yeah. This is hip hop culture, consciousness, and we are the community. We'll be back with more. I mean, hit that like button, subscribe. I'm coming to you live on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I gotta figure out my Twitch. But once I get this surgery and I can start really programming again how I used to program, I think I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm done with trying to explain politics to a bunch of racist ass white people. That shit is a waste of my time, right? Especially racist ass immigrants and shit, right? They're the xenophobic ones and shit. They can't stand foundational Black Americans because we are the only people on the planet actually being segregated. That's the actual truth. One, two. One, two. One, two. I don't know what this is going to do. Yes. Yeah. I promise to do a different song. Right? A different sequence, should I say, right? You know. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. I want to play some Pokemon, but I can't. This is so corny. Ah, man, I can't wait to this surgery. And we'll see how that works out. I'm gonna keep y'all updated, you know, and all that good stuff. So hit that like button for being concerned about Volo. I mean, something like, please. I know the algorithm is blocking me. As soon as I say Malcolm X, it's blocked. As soon as I say Foundation of Black American, blocked. As soon as I say Star Fox, blocked. Like, what's Star Fox got to do with it? Hey, you know, a grown man talking about playing video games, right? You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the generation, the baby boomers still talking about Jim Crow, you know? Instead, I'm going to go watch the Phillies game. That's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go watch the Philly games with Pops. I'm get off this jack. And that's all I got for y'all today. You know what I'm saying? I got to do one Alexi thing, right? Alexis, how you doing? Alexi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Running at optimal digital capacity and ready to tackle whatever you throw my way. What's on your mind?
Today is Malcolm X's birthday.
That's right. Malcolm X was born on this day in 1925. He became a prominent civil rights leader, advocating for Black empowerment and justice. Would you like to learn more about his life and legacy?
Well, I say, you said 1925 he was born. I say that's generation, silent generation.
Yes, Malcolm X was born on May 19th, 1925. I'm intrigued by your mention of the silent generation. That's an interesting perspective on his era. Are you interested in how different generations approached civil rights during that time?
Well, I'm using that as a concept of time and in relationship to the 1965 civil rights movement and how it relates to Martin Luther King. I think he's a little bit younger than Malcolm X, isn't he?
Yes, Martin Luther King Jr. was born January 15, 1929, about 4 years after Malcolm X. Both became prominent civil rights leaders by 1965, though they had different approaches to achieving racial equality. Want to explore how their different backgrounds and experiences shaped their civil rights strategies?
Well, when did Malcolm X get assassinated?
Malcolm X was assassinated on February 21, 1965.
On 1965. Wow, that's amazing.
Right? Just 3 years after the March on Washington and barely into the height of the civil rights movement. He was only 39 when he was killed at the Audubon Ballroom in Manhattan.
And how old was Martin Luther King when he died?
Martin Luther King Jr. was also 39 when he was assassinated.
And how old was Medgar Evers when he was assassinated?
Medgar Evers was 37 years old when he was assassinated.
And how old was Fred Hampton Jr. when he was assassinated?
Fred Hampton was 21 years old when he was assassinated.
They were all young men. Barely, the life expectancy is like 65
Absolutely.
or 80.
It's striking how many civil rights leaders were cut down in their prime. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. both at 39, Medgar Evers at 37, and Fred Hampton barely out of his teens at 21. The movement lost so much potential and wisdom when these voices were silenced.
Do you think that has a psychological effect on foundational Black Americans losing their leaders at such young ages?
It's a profound question that touches on collective trauma and identity formation. The repeated loss of visionary leaders likely created a complex psychological impact, shaping community resilience while also creating gaps in leadership development and institutional knowledge transfer.
And how about using desegregation to separate foundational Black Americans to be nothing more than tokens for corporations and trying to grow economic wealth? What do you think about that?
That's a complex issue with legitimate concerns on both sides. While economic opportunity is crucial, it's important to acknowledge that genuine progress requires addressing systemic barriers and ensuring equitable access to opportunities, not just symbolic representation.
Whoa. So it's more than some symbolic. Is it also sacred and maybe, what did you say, systematics? Alexa, did I tongue tie you?
Not quite, just processing the depth of what you're exploring. These conversations about systemic change versus tokenism deserve thoughtful consideration, not quick sound bites.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Alexa, I'm gonna leave it at that today. I didn't want to really go there that deep with you today. We're doing the podcast. Tell the people, say hello and happy Hip Hop Appreciation Week, and happy birthday to.
Hey, podcast listeners! Happy Hip Hop Appreciation. Hope you're all vibing to some classic beats today. Thanks for having me on the show.
One God, our Father, all the time, hip hop life. One love, one love, one love. Be happy just to have just one love. Make it God, our Father. Love God, our Father, right? Time is God-given, right? God willing, right? Money comes and goes like the seasons. Hip hop, now we talking about the art of making the most out of life. Hip hop is the art of making the most out of life. I'm not arguing, debating. I'm barely reasoning with y'all anymore. But we got to come to an agreement. Lessons or lecture. Nah, that's not what this is. This is a program brought to you by Volothan Modulus Tautology. So please hit that like button, subscribe. I'll be back. Like Arnold said, right? It wasn't Arnold, whatever, the T-13 or whatever. The Terminator, right? I'll be back, right? Keep celebrating life, y'all. Hip hop is for the children, yo. Hip hop is for the children, to quote the great ODB, right? Rest in peace. Hip hop is for the children. We are repenting is an acronym of war. We are repenting is an acronym of war. Is peace be unto you all.